Hello. Everyone is late so far. I don't see one person that is in class. Okay, now I see three. Okay. Hello. Welcome to economics class. I'm your teacher. I don't like Miss Barden. I think that's really gross because Barden is a really stupid word. Anyway, there's some really fun lessons that I'm going to be going over today, but first and foremost, I wanted to thank Mr. Hawk for organizing this again. I was a last-minute substitute, so we'll just see how much I truly prepared, like a real teacher. So we have a joke of the day, and that is an inappropriate joke that you can tell your kids. So the one I'm going to go with is, what's brown and sticky? A stick. Okay. My sister actually wrote that joke when she was like 4 or something. So credit goes to Susan. Now, economics is a really important thing to learn about. Yeah. And so I'm going to do my best to go over some really fun shit. I've got some visual aids that we're going to be looking at tonight. And let's just go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? Number 1 is the supply and demand curves, okay? I'm not even going to give you a basic overview of economics because it's such a shit show that I could not even explain it outside of these correct visual aids that work in theory, but we live in America, so who knows? Okay, supply and demand curves. Oh, also, should mention this is also a romantic lesson, like the math one. So, okay, anyway, here is a graph. This x-axis represents the quantity of something, and this y-axis is going to represent the price. Okay, so we have these curves that correlate with each other. This is a supply curve, and then this is a demand curve. I might have drawn those reversed, but whatever. Basically what these represent is that the more supply, this is so wrong. The more demand you have for something, probably the less supply that you have. Because let's say you have these really delicious snow cones at your own snow cone stand and everybody wants them, so you run out of cherry flavor in 5 minutes. So your supply is limited, and that correlates to the demand. Any questions? Now, in dating, supply and demand curves actually mean something a little different. Ladies have curves, as you know. You've seen a lady, probably. And men sometimes demand those curves. So sometimes it's really hard to supply them if the guy's a bitch. And by bitch, I just mean mean. And that is going to do it for that lesson. Thank you, David. This is the dress I was wearing when I met Nicole Byer in March, right before lockdown. Alright. So now we are going to move on to what we call unemployment. Now, I've drawn this diagram, and I want to make it perfectly clear that this diagram was drawn pre-COVID. Okay, I'm not going to judge someone for being unemployed or not during a crisis situation, pandemic, because I'm not an asshole. But this diagram might say otherwise if you took it out of context. Unemployment, obviously, is defined by not being employed. And it's important for the economy because when people make money, then they can spend that money on things which stimulates the economy. You get my drift? Okay. So if you're unemployed, you cannot participate in supporting the economy. It just doesn't work. And there are two terms I will want to go over with you. One is economically active, and this means looking for a job, actively looking for work. And so that's really good because everyone should have a job, you know? Economically inactive, on the other hand, means you're either retired, you're not old enough to work, or perhaps you just don't give a shit. So here is the unemployment activity according to Tinder. Tinder is a dating app, if you didn't know. And again, this was created before the pandemic. This side represents economically inactive gentlemen. These are going to be gentlemen that just want to leech off of you. You know, maybe they want to talk to you for a while, but when they start talking about going on a date and spending money, oops, they can't because they don't have enough money, or they want to pretend they don't. And then this side is economically active. It means that even if they don't have enough money, they still like you enough to take you on a date, you know? Spend their money on some mini golf. Okay, moving on to something that we call interest rates. So, in economics, an interest rate, okay, let's say you bought a big ticket item like a boat or a car, something that was like tens of thousands of dollars that you have to pay for in payments, because I don't have that much money lying around. I don't think a lot of us do. So banks will be like, okay, you can pay $300 a month for 5 years. But actually, in order to know that you are going to pay, we're going to take a cut of that money and we're going to call it interest. Because we need to know that you're interested in our service. Which actually, I don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway, there's something called interest rates when we talk about the dating world. And to further describe that, I have split it up by category of dating app. The interest rate that you see on Tinder is often 0%. Because if you're on Tinder, you're only interested in one thing, okay? I'm talking about love, and if you're on Tinder, you're not talking about love. And therefore, the interest rate of being with someone is 0%. Next up is Hinge. Hinge is a really cool app where you, it's like the app that's designed to be deleted. Okay, so you're supposed to meet the love of your life by answering 5 questions about your favorite song, some kind of collection you had, and like your pet peeves. And that's supposed to connect you with your soulmate somehow. Now, Hinge actually is rated super highly, so I gave that one a 73% interest rate. But still, it's a dating app, and you're only putting the effort in to answer 5 questions. So it's not 100% interest. Moving on to OkCupid. OkCupid, I have actually not used since I was in college. But from what I remember, you have to create a username, and then you have to answer like 200 questions about your religion and like how you rate how much you like documentaries and shit. How important is it to you to do things every single day? Like, I think there was a scale that was like, when I do nothing every day, I feel either A, happy, or B, sad. And I always put happy because I like to lie around. Anyway, OkCupid gets an 86% interest rate because there's still creeps on there, okay? And you have to also factor in the people that are on OkCupid and Hinge and Tinder and like Christian Mingle and whatever else there is. The only one that I can truly give a 100% interest rate to is Match.com. I've not tried Match.com because I'm still in my 20s, but I think you have to pay for that. I mean, they have a really tall building in downtown, so I'm assuming it costs a lot of money to have a Match.com account. I don't know, but it seems like it's at a 100% interest rate. And I want you to also know that interest rates are crucial in dating. They need to be the highest. Oh, farmers only. You're right, Christina. Farmers only, I don't know, 6%? Who cares about farmers, am I right? I'm just kidding. Farmers are crucial to the environment, and everyone needs to support farm to table, and if we didn't have farmers, we wouldn't have chocolate or corn or... Anyway, I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, dating. You need to have a 100% interest rate when you're dating someone, when you're talking to someone. But in economics, an interest rate should be like 1%, okay? I'm not going to go into detail because I'm not qualified. Anyway, next lesson is on something called GDP. Now, GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. And that's like, remember when I'm interested? Sorry, I've had a lot of wine. When I mentioned snow cones earlier, that is a gross domestic product example. It's just like the thing that you're selling and making money off of in the economy, right? When you're dating, it can also mean God damn. And if you're Ben Shapiro, P word. I'm gonna keep this PG rated because my mom might be watching. Anyway, GDP matters because sometimes you just want a GDP, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. Just have to know that whoever you're dating knows that all you want is the GDP. WAP is not an economic term. So that might be in the health lesson with Josh after this. Okay, next lesson. Now this is something that I want to nail in your heads, okay? There's no such thing as a free lunch. Yes, there is if you're really good at dating, though, and flirting. If you watched my last lesson about math, then you know that I was really cute one night, and I was so cute, in fact, that someone bought me a $20 cheese plate. Haven't forgotten. And that's the whole lesson. Okay, moving on to trickle-down economics. Now I had a joke here, but 99% of you won't get it. Thank you. Pausing for laughs. So I hope Anthony Tad is watching and saw me nail that joke. Okay, so trickle-down economics. This is another ideal situation where people would share, but again, we live in America, so let's say you are the owner of Amazon.com and you make $3 trillion on your lunch break. In trickle-down economics, you would be taxed on that amount and people could go to school for free. But we live in America, so you you have to keep it all yourself. And I don't know, have like 6 ponies at your house. So anyway, I've drawn this diagram to represent trickle-down economics. I think we all know what this is. It's wine. So in trickle-down economics, you have a big source of money right here. And it goes right here to this very first glass. And then in an ideal situation, all the glasses would be full. However, this is America. Remember, big important detail. So this is what we have. And to further illustrate, this is trickle-down economics. I'm Jeffrey Bezos, and I don't share. End of lesson. Okay. Microeconomics versus macroeconomics. Whoop, whoop. Okay, microeconomics. That's going to be the big picture of things, okay? That's going to be like the entire American economy. That's like, you know, the national debt. How did I say it? Bezos? Okay, I'm gonna pivot really quick. I think that we should all just call really shitty men that are important by their first name, like Jeffrey and Gregory and Donald, although I don't like that word. So anyway, it makes them less important, you know? Let's just all say Jeffrey. We know who you're talking about. Anyway, back to microeconomics. That's the big picture of shit. That's the entire economy. Bozos? Yeah, it's Bezos, actually. Forget what I said. And then you have macroeconomics. And that's like individual behavior. I really don't know what that means. Except maybe it's like you work at the snow cone stand, right? And all the money that you make there stimulates the local Plano economy. Like TC's shaved ice, you know? That sounds really good right now, so anyway, TC's shaved ice makes money and it helps keep Plano afloat. Now in dating, microeconomics is similar to the dating pool. Okay, all men on Tinder are looking to date. I don't really know how to explain this. Okay, let's just say macroeconomics is like a date that you go on with a guy where you drive all the way to Denton and then he gets in your car and he's really sweaty and then he takes you to a movie. Actually, you take him to a movie and he eats all the popcorn. That is individual behavior, and that can be affecting the giant picture, aka microeconomics. Any questions, you guys? Because obviously I explained that to a T. Probably shouldn't have drinking that wine that fast, but whatever. I'm a teacher and it's my privilege. Okay, so the last diagram I have here is what we call the business cycle. So, look how pretty this is. I have really great handwriting, I'm just saying. Now on the bottom of the graph here, we have something called time. Now I know that a lot of us have forgotten what the hell that is, but it's, well, you know, concept of time, you knew it once. And then up here is GDP, remember? Gross domestic product, or goddamn P word. You're welcome. So, this diagonal line is called the trend. So this is just like, okay, let's say a product was introduced. Oh my god, I just realized how phallic this looks. Oops. I'm not even gonna be able to get through this. Okay, you introduce a product, and then it goes through these phallic curves to the time that we have right now. So, as the curve goes up, this is the boom in an economy. So, like, remember at the beginning of lockdown when everyone bought all the shit tickets? That would be considered a boom because all the products were in such a demand. And then now everyone has literally stopped giving a shit. So it peaked, and now all the shelves of Walmart have toilet paper. So we're at something called a trough. And then once we hit second lockdown, because that's going to happen pretty soon if y'all don't get your shit together, literally, we're going to go right back up to where no one has toilet paper. Now, I really didn't want to end this on a sour note, but, whatever. You're gonna have to carry this into your health class with Mr. Edwards, who is linked in the description. And by the way, so is my Venmo if you want to tip. That would be cute. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna go get some more wine. And if I got enough likes, I'll go do the Friday hop, which is what my economics teacher did even when she was 330 years old at Plano Senior. You guys know what I'm talking about if you do. Anyway, go enjoy your health class. Bye!